Well, Virgo, it's another month. It's November 2016. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au. I'm beaming in from the Philippines, and I must say we've had some fairly terrible storms and typhoons here. It's been messing a little bit with the electricity here. So if you see the lighting phasing in and out, you're not short-circuiting, or your system's not short-circuiting. It's actually happening at this end, and I do apologise for that. It's reasonably stable at the moment, but you'll know what the cause of that is if it does happen. I'm looking at your horoscope. The month starts off with an interesting new moon. It actually started just at the tail end of October, taking place in your third house with your ruler, Mercury, and the Sun. So, you know, the third house is your conscious mind. And from what I understand, with the literally thousands of Virgos that I've dealt with over 35 years, is that the conscious mind is very, very important, very, very activated in your case. And so it's important for you to somehow manage that. Now, especially with the new moon taking place in this area, 3 planets bring quite a bit of focus to this area. So it's all to do with how you think. So I want you to think about how you think. You know, your ruler Mercury is very analytical. So what I'm trying to get you to do this month, I'm going to give you some exercises this month, I think, Virgo, is to somehow sync your awareness from this conscious level of the mind down into the more intuitive level of yourself. And that's precisely what I believe the new moon is doing for you now. It is awakening you to this process of thought, which has to do with analysis. It has to do with reasoning, deduction, judgment, perception on the superficial level of things. So there we go. The lights went on. Maybe that was an aha moment for you. When I talk about perception, as well as sinking into the depth of your own being in terms of the way you analyze things, so that you get into a more intuitive level of perceiving your life, your world, your relationships. It's a matter of also going beneath the superficial level and assessment of others. So you are the person who is probably one of the most critical signs of the zodiac, not just with others, but with yourself. So what I'm asking you to do here is I'm not saying get rid of that, but I'm saying there's another level under which you can perceive things. And that is not so much a rational level where you're judging, appraising, discriminating. It's where you're simply just resting and letting that energy or that information speak on its own rather than filtering it through those mental processes. Because, you know, Virgo, the superficial mental process can get very, very tiring. And I say to people sometimes, do an experiment. Stay in bed all day on a Sunday. Don't get up. And I'll prove to you that it's not physical action that causes you to be tired so much as mental action. Do nothing physically for the whole day. I guarantee you at the end of the day, you'll still feel tired and will want to sleep. So that proves it's this part of the mechanism that's chattering and bubbling over all the time. And what I'm trying to get you to do with this new moon this month is to just relax that a little bit, relax the attachment of your awareness to the conscious mind, sit back and just receive information in a way that is not too filtered by this, and see what happens. That means, you know, where you're critical of the minutiae, the detail of things, just leaving that be. You know what? My ruling planet is in Virgo, so I know exactly how you feel. I hate seeing things out of place, especially having a young 4-year-old daughter now. It's been a big adjustment. So what I'm asking you to do is something I've been practicing myself here, and that is, you know, if I see some socks on the floor, not reacting to that, just, you know, trying to overcome the the tendency to allow myself to be distracted and annoyed by that. That's the conscious mind. If you let that go, and you have to become a Teflon person like me, non-stick, as I call it, you'll start to find that that process, that practice becomes easier and easier, with the result that you're far more peaceful within yourself. That's the new moon effect on the conscious mind. We see also in your 4th house the transit of Saturn, and recently both of these planets are reasonably friendly to you, Saturn and Venus. The Venus-Saturn combination can mean you're not altogether happy in the circumstances in which you live. So some of these conscious, I guess, assessments that you're going through at this point may be directed at the living environment, the people in your domestic environment, finding fault with them, feeling dissatisfied that you're not getting things in the order that you want them. Venus has just passed the conjunction of Saturn, so it's likely now you're feeling a little more relaxed about that, which is why you have to incorporate some of these techniques that I've just advised. I mean, you don't have to, but as an experiment, try that. And for you particularly, the breathing process is very, very important. Because some of you born under Virgo, I found, because Virgo also rules this nasal area, and as well as the nervous system. But there's an intimate link between the depth and quality of your breath and the health and vitality of your nervous system. So by linking that, consciously breathing, deepening your breath, you are going to oxygenate your system generally, feel better generally, but it's going to tonify your nerves and give you that sense of peace that you're looking for. And this month, generally, for all of the 12 star signs, I'm making peace the theme. All roads lead to Rome. All of these star signs and the techniques I'm giving you this month will lead to that state of peace, slightly different methodologies. And you're also maybe not so combative, but very, very competitive, I'd say, with Mars this month in your 5th house, having just passed the transit of Pluto. That's an important one for you. Fortunately, it's passing now. It should only last a few more days, a week or so, and you'll find that that competitive urge, which may turn to a strong criticism of others, will soften once it moves to the 6th house. And that happens on the 9th, actually. So 9 days into November, you'll start to see a shift away from being competitive with others to moving back to what one of your fortes is, and that is really keen, diligent, active, principled work with great results. Now, the last thing I want to mention to you before we finish up is the reverse of that new moon, which is taking place in Scorpio, the full moon on the 14th, which takes place in your 9th house, which is a spiritual house. It's a house of journeys that can be mental journeys, but can also be physical journeys. So that is definitely going to give you the impetus to emotionally connect with some of these ideas. Education is really, really on the cards. If you've been looking to improve this part of your life, the moon for you is quite a favourable planet. Not that it's a planet, but just for convenience. It rules your 11th house of fulfillment, and moving in the 9th house, apart from fulfilling your desires educationally, in terms of vacations, legal matters, that sort of thing, this is naturally a good fit for achieving wealth and finances. So this opens up the doors to some new opportunities financially. There could be money that you've been waiting on. For those of you that have had legal cases, compensation cases, then the second half of the month ushers in this full moon, which brings benefits in that area. I hope that's helped. We're going to do lots more of this. I think it's much more practical. I hope you'll join me again next month. Don't forget, in the meantime, visit the site, my site, astrology.com.au. to get more detailed information, and I'm always available there if you'd like to avail yourself of a face-to-face reading with me to get into your horoscope in a really detailed fashion. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.